before you opened your eyes this morning, before the noise of the world rushed back in. There was already a conversation happening in the unseen long ago. There was a moment like this, quiet, ordinary on the surface, yet charged with destiny beneath. A man woke up thinking it would be another routine day. He had no announcement, no trumpet, no crowd, yet heaven had marked that morning. He stepped outside, unaware that his simple obedience was about to unlock a chain reaction that would echo through generations. Nothing about his surroundings suggested greatness. No applause followed him. But God was watching closely, because what happens in hidden mornings determines public victories. You are standing in a similar moment now. This is not coincidence. This morning is not random. You were stirred awake physically or spiritually because something is shifting. In that ancient story, the person did not yet know his name would be remembered. He only knew he was tired, pressed, misunderstood, and carrying a weight he couldn't explain. And yet, God chose that exact season to speak, not in thunder, but in a quiet directive that required trust. That is how God often moves with his chosen ones. He does not always announce revelation with fireworks. Sometimes he waits until you are stripped of distractions, until pride has softened, until desperation has refined you. Then he whispers, and if you miss it, you delay destiny. If you obey, you accelerate it. Chosen one. You have been asking why things felt delayed, why doors closed without explanation, why people walked away when you needed them most. It is because God was preparing your inner hearing. You were being trained to recognize his voice above all others. This season you are in this strange mixture of pressure and anticipation is not punishment, it is positioning. In that hidden biblical moment, obedience looked foolish to outsiders. If anyone had seen it, they might have laughed. But heaven leaned in, angels watched closely. Because God is not impressed by crowds, he is moved by alignment. And right now, alignment is what he is calling you into. Listen carefully, Guzan. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not late. You are early for something that requires maturity, not speed. This is why you've been held back while others rushed ahead. You are being trusted with insight others cannot carry. God does not reveal deep things to shallow vessels. There is a reason this message found you in the morning. Morning revelation is dangerous to darkness. Morning clarity disrupts long-standing cycles. Morning obedience sets the tone for entire seasons. The enemy works overtime to exhaust you at night so you wake up dull and distracted. But today, God intercepted that plan. You may not see the full picture yet, just like that person in Scripture didn't. But partial obedience still activates full authority. You don't need all the answers, you need readiness. Stay ready. That is the instruction over your life right now. Stay alert, stay clean in heart, stay humble, because revelation does not knock loudly twice. This is also why resistance has increased. When revelation approaches, opposition intensifies, doubt whispers. Fear suggests delay, distraction offers comfort. But hear this clearly. Don't do it, no matter the price. Do not go back to old patterns. Do not numb yourself now. This is not coincidence. This is divine intervention. You are being trusted with insight that will recalibrate your direction. Not everyone will understand the choices you are about to make. Some will say you've changed. They are right. You have. You are no longer moving by impulse. You are moving by instruction. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms, chapter 27, verse 14. Wait for the Lord. Be strong and take heart and wait for the Lord. This is not passive waiting. This is armed waiting. This is the kind of readiness that keeps oil in the lamp. This is the posture of someone who knows heaven is about to speak again and does not want to miss it. Right now, God is asking for your attention more than your activity. Your stillness matters. Your obedience in small things matters. The way you respond this morning matters more than you realize. Because once revelation lands, movement follows quickly. This channel exists for moments like this. If this message resonates in your spirit, don't ignore the nudge like the video. Share it with someone who needs confirmation. And subscribe so you stay connected to what God is unfolding next. And as a prophetic act of alignment, at the very end, comment the number 77 not out of habit, but as a declaration that you are ready, watching, and willing to wait on the Lord's instruction. There is a weight you have been carrying that few people can see. It did not arrive suddenly. It accumulated quietly over time. Each disappointment added a layer. Each unanswered prayer pressed a little deeper. You learned how to function while burdened, how to smile while questioning, how to keep moving even when clarity felt just out of reach. What you did not realize was that this pressure was not meant to crush you, it was meant to refine your perception. In the hidden workings of God, pressure is often the language of preparation. Before revelation comes exposure, before clarity comes compression. You were not being punished, you were being positioned to see differently. Many people ask God for answers, but few are willing to endure the process required to recognize them when they arrive. You have endured it. There is a biblical pattern you are now living inside of. Long before outcomes changed, the inner world of the chosen was reshaped. Their assumptions were challenged. Their dependence shifted. What once felt stable was removed so something eternal could take its place. That is what has been happening in you. The confusion you felt was not because God was silent, but because He was rewiring the way you listen. Think back over the last season. The misunderstandings, the delays, the moments when it felt like you were doing the right thing and still meeting resistance. Those were not signs of failure. They were signs of separation. God was quietly removing props you leaned on so your trust would deepen beyond convenience. He was teaching you to stand without applause, to obey without confirmation, to keep integrity even when outcomes were unclear. Hidden pressure always precedes expanded vision. Without it, revelation would overwhelm you. God never reveals more than your inner structure can support. That is why some truths are delayed, not denied, but delayed until your character can hold them without distortion. You were strengthened in the dark so you could see clearly in the light. This is also why certain relationships became heavy. Some people could not go where you were being led. And instead of announcing it, God allowed friction to reveal it. You are not imagining the tension. Your spirit was outgrowing familiar containers. That kind of growth is lonely, but it is necessary. Eagles are not trained in crowds. What felt like isolation was actually insulation. God was protecting the work He was doing in you from premature exposure. Had He revealed everything too soon, interference would have come. Opinions would have confused you. Doubt would have diluted obedience. So He kept you hidden, pressed, but protected. There is a reason you developed discernment during this season. You learned to read rooms quickly. You learned when to speak and when to stay silent. You learned that not everyone who smiles is safe, and not every closed door is rejection. That wisdom did not come from books, it came from endurance, and endurance leaves a mark. You may have questioned why others seemed to advance faster, why they were celebrated while you were overlooked. But speed without depth leads to collapse. God was anchoring you. When what is coming arrives, you will not be intoxicated by it. You will steward it with humility because you remember the pressure that shaped you. The trials did not change God's opinion of you, they revealed it. He trusted you enough to allow the process. He knew you would not quit. He knew you would wrestle, but not walk away. That is the difference between being curious about God and being committed to Him. The ancient words recorded in Romans still echo today, especially for those who have walked through pressure without explanation. Scripture says in the book of Romans, chapter 5, verse 3, "We also glory in our sufferings because we know that suffering produces perseverance. Perseverance is not passive, it is active faith under strain. It is continuing to believe when emotions fluctuate. It is choosing obedience when comfort would be easier. That perseverance is now part of you. It has altered your spiritual posture. You no longer collapse under uncertainty, you endure through it. What you thought was breaking you was actually training you to hold revelation without fear. When clarity comes, and it will, you will not panic. You will recognize it. You will know what to do because your inner world has already been conditioned for obedience. This is why you must not reinterpret the past through bitterness. Nothing was wasted. Every tear carried instruction. Every delay carried alignment. Even the moments when you felt forgotten were moments when heaven was paying close attention. You are closer than you think, not to answers alone, but to understanding. The pressure is lifting not because the season ends, but because its purpose has been fulfilled. Your perception has changed. You see differently now. You hear differently now. You trust differently now. And that means you are ready for what comes next. There comes a moment when God stops explaining and starts revealing. Not through noise, not through people, but through sudden inner knowing. You do not learn it, you recognize it. Something clicks into place, and what once felt confusing now feels obvious. This is the moment you are approaching. The veil is lifting, not because time passed, but because you changed. In Scripture, there are moments when God withholds information until the heart is ready. Not because He is distant, but because premature revelation can distort destiny. If He had told you earlier what He is showing you now, you might have resisted it, feared it, or mishandled it. So He waited, and while you waited, He worked on you. You may have noticed recently that certain thoughts no longer fit. Old desires feel shallow. Old habits feel heavy. Conversations that once energized you now drain you. This is not boredom, it is discernment activating. You are beginning to see what aligns with your future and what belongs to your past. That awareness is not accidental. It is the beginning of revelation. God often reveals truth in layers. First, He unsettles you. Then He strips distraction. Then He sharpens perception. Finally, He reveals direction. You are between sharpening and direction right now. That is why you feel alert but not yet moving. Ready, but not rushing. This tension is sacred. Do not try to escape it. What is being revealed is not just information, it is responsibility. Revelation always demands response. Once you see, you cannot unsee. Once you know, neutrality disappears. That is why God does not reveal lightly. When clarity comes, excuses end. That is why your spirit has been under such careful construction. You are beginning to understand why certain prayers were delayed. They were not denied, they were postponed until you could carry the weight of the answer. Some blessings come with exposure. Some doors come with warfare. God was fortifying you so you would not confuse elevation with approval or opposition with failure. This is also why discernment is becoming sharper. You are noticing subtleties you once ignored, tone changes, motivations, patterns. You are no longer impressed by appearance, you are attentive to fruit. This is a sign of spiritual maturity, and maturity attracts revelation. In the Bible, whenever God revealed something major, it was often preceded by silence, pressure, or isolation, not abandonment. Preparation. Heaven does its deepest work in hidden places. What you are receiving now could not be downloaded in noise. It required stillness, even discomfort. You may feel a sense of urgency rising, but not panic. That is the difference between fear and calling. Fear pushes, calling pulls. You are being pulled forward not by pressure from people, but by clarity from God. And clarity always feels calm, even when it leads into challenge. Do not rush to explain what God is showing you to others. Revelation is not meant to be broadcast before it is embodied. Live it first. Let it shape your decisions. Let it reorder your priorities. There will be a time to speak, but right now, the instruction is to see clearly. This is where many miss it. They hear part of the message and move too quickly, but partial revelation requires patience. God reveals direction before timing, assignment before exposure. If you move before timing is released, you step out of protection. Stay aligned. As was spoken in the sacred texts of old, wisdom is not rushed, it is recognized. We find this truth in the book of Proverbs. Chapter 4, verse 7. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. Understanding is what God is releasing to you now. Not hype, not noise. Understanding. The kind that steadies your steps and quiets your soul. The kind that tells you when to wait and when to move. When to speak and when to remain silent. This is why your reactions are changing. You no longer feel the need to defend everything. You no longer chase validation. You are learning that clarity is stronger than control. When God reveals His perspective, your need to prove yourself fades. You are not confused, you are transitioning. And transition often feels like standing between two worlds. The old no longer fits, but the new is not fully visible yet. That does not mean nothing is happening. It means something irreversible has already begun. At this point, it is important to mark this moment. Not publicly, not loudly, but intentionally. So at the end of this section, I invite you to comment a short phrase. Under 4 words, I see clearly. This is not a slogan. It is a declaration. By typing it, you are not claiming perfection, you are acknowledging readiness. You are agreeing with the work God is doing in your perception. You are choosing clarity over comfort, understanding over impulse. Let that statement settle in you, because once you see clearly, movement will follow. And when it does, you will know exactly why this season had to unfold the way it did. Before God ever gives strategy, He prepares the inner terrain. This is where many fail, not because they lack intelligence or opportunity, but because they rush outward before they are aligned inward. You are being instructed now to reverse the order you were taught by the world. Do not prepare plans first. Prepare your heart first. Strategy without inner alignment creates speed without stability. You are entering a phase where what you carry internally will determine how far you can go externally. This is why God has slowed you down again, not to frustrate you, but to fortify you. The next steps of your life will require clarity under pressure, peace in conflict, and restraint in moments where reaction would feel justified. Those qualities are not built in motion, they are built in stillness. The first practical instruction is this: audit your inner noise. Pay attention to what occupies your thoughts when nothing demands your attention. Anxiety, comparison, regret, impatience, these are indicators. not enemies. They show you where alignment is still forming. God does not shame you for noticing them. He invites you to bring them into order. Inner preparation begins with honesty, not performance, not spiritual language. Honesty. You must allow yourself to admit where fear still whispers and where trust still wavers. God does not heal what you hide. He strengthens what you surrender. This is not weakness, it is wisdom. The second instruction is discipline of attention. Where your attention goes, your authority follows. If your attention is scattered, your power leaks. Begin practicing intentional focus. This does not require dramatic change. It requires consistency. Choose moments of quiet, even brief ones, where you intentionally redirect your thoughts toward truth rather than threat. This trains your spirit to lead your mind, not the other way around. Third, cleanse your motivation. Ask yourself not just what you want to do, but why you want to do it. Some desires feel holy, but are rooted in wounded places needing validation, control, or revenge. God will not build lasting victory on unstable motives. Let Him purify the why before He accelerates the what. This is also where forgiveness becomes practical, not emotional. Forgiveness is not agreement with what hurt you. It is release from carrying it forward. Unforgiveness drains discernment. It clouds judgment. If you do not release the past, it will quietly influence future decisions. Inner preparation means refusing to let old wounds become silent advisors. Next, strengthen your obedience muscles in small things. Many want big assignments but resist small instructions. Yet obedience is cumulative. The way you respond to small promptings determines whether you can be trusted with larger ones. If God asks you to rest, rest. If He asks you to speak less, speak less. If He asks you to walk away, walk away. These are not delays, they are drills. Another essential practice is guarding your inner language. Pay attention to how you speak about yourself when no one is listening. Inner dialogue either reinforces fear or builds faith. You cannot consistently speak defeat internally and expect authority externally. Begin aligning your internal language with truth, even when emotions resist. You are also being asked to prepare by reducing unnecessary input. Not everything available to you is assigned to you. Constant consumption dulls spiritual sensitivity. Choose what you allow to shape your thinking. Silence is not emptiness. It is space for discernment. This inner preparation is not glamorous. It does not produce instant results, but it creates unshakable foundations. When pressure comes, and it will, you will not scramble, you will respond. That is the difference preparation makes. The voice of God thundered in the book of Exodus, chapter 14, verse 14. The Lord will fight for you, you need only to be still. Stillness here is not inactivity, it is alignment. It is the posture of someone who trusts God enough to prepare inwardly before advancing outwardly. When your inner world is steady, strategy becomes clear. When your heart is settled, decisions become simpler. If this guidance is helping you recalibrate not just emotionally, but practically, I invite you, in a sincere and gentle way, to like this message and share it with someone who is preparing quietly for what God is about to do. And if you want to remain connected to these moments of instruction as they unfold, consider subscribing. This is not about numbers, it is about walking the journey together. Remember, preparation is already movement. Inner alignment is already progress. You are not standing still, you are being strengthened from the inside out. There was a time when obedience looked like insanity to everyone watching. The sky was clear. The ground was dry. Seasons were predictable. Life moved on as it always had. And in the middle of that normalcy, one man received an instruction that made no sense to logic, culture, or experience. He was told to build something no one had ever seen, for a disaster no one believed would come. Day after day, he gathered materials. He measured, cut, and assembled. Hammer striking wood echoed across open land where no water had ever covered the earth. People passed by. They questioned. They mocked. They laughed. Some were curious. Others were cruel to them, but none of them joined him. This was not a weekend project. It took decades. Decades of obedience without validation. Decades of faith without evidence. Decades of routine work while nothing externally changed. That is the part of the story people often skip, the long obedience in the same direction. With no applause and no visible reward. Chosen one, this is where your season connects. You have been building something internally while others lived normally around you. You have been obeying instructions that could not be explained. You have been preparing for an outcome you could not yet see. And at times you wondered if you misheard God because nothing around you confirmed it. But obedience is not proven by results, it is proven by consistency. That man was not building for comfort. He was building for survival. He was not responding to fear, he was responding to revelation. God showed him what others could not see yet. And once he saw it, he could not unsee it. Neutrality was no longer an option. He either obeyed fully or failed completely. This is what separates chosen ones from crowds. When revelation comes, comfort must leave. That is why God does not reveal everything to everyone. Some would mock it. Some would misuse it. Some would panic. But you were trusted with preparation, not explanation. Notice something important: the rain did not start immediately after the instruction. There was a long gap between the word and the manifestation. That gap is where faith is proven. Anyone can believe when rain is visible. Obedience before rain is what marks covenant faithfulness. You are currently in that gap. You are doing things that will only make sense later. You are saying no to things others say yes to. You are building disciplines, boundaries, and convictions that seem excessive until the flood comes. And when it does, preparation will speak louder than explanation ever could. That man was not arrogant. He did not argue with mockers. He did not stop building to convince anyone. He kept working. His obedience was his message. And when the door finally closed, it was not because God wanted to exclude others, it was because the season of preparation had ended. Hear this clearly: preparation has an expiration date. There comes a moment when building stops and entering begins. When warnings end and consequences begin. When faith becomes sight. That is why delay is dangerous for those who hear God clearly. You do not have the luxury of waiting until everyone agrees. You may feel isolated in your obedience right now. You may feel repetitive, unseen, even foolish at times. But heaven counts every obedient step, every nail driven, every day you did not quit. And when the shift happens, you will not need to explain. Your preparation will speak for you. The story also teaches this: obedience does not require understanding public opinion. It requires alignment with God's instruction. That man did not adjust the blueprint to fit culture. He followed it exactly. Partial obedience would have sunk him. That is why God has been precise with you. Specific instructions, clear convictions, narrow paths. This is not restriction, it is rescue. Scripture records this truth plainly in the book of Genesis, chapter 6, verse 22. Noah did everything just as God commanded him. That single sentence carries the weight of survival. Everything, not some things, not convenient things, everything. And because of that obedience, life was preserved. Generations were saved. Covenant continued. What you are building right now is not just for you. It is for people you may never meet, but whose lives will be affected by your faithfulness. This is why distractions have tried to pull you off course. This is why discouragement has whispered, "What's the point?" This is why temptation offered shortcuts. If the enemy can't stop revelation, he tries to interrupt preparation. Do not stop building. Do not rush the process. Do not abandon obedience because results feel slow. Rain always comes suddenly. Preparation never does. And at the right time, without warning, the door will close. The rain will fall. And what once looked foolish will look prophetic. To mark this moment of agreement and readiness, comment the number 999 at the end. Not casually, but as a sign that you choose obedience even when understanding comes later. You are building what will carry you through what others are not ready for. There is a quiet but decisive shift that happens just before major movement. It does not announce itself. It does not come with emotion or drama. It arrives as clarity clear enough to recognize what no longer belongs, and strong enough to let it go without explanation. This is the phase you are entering now. Separation is no longer optional. It is necessary. Distraction is not always obvious. It rarely looks like outright rebellion. More often, it looks like good things in the wrong season, familiar voices speaking without discernment, or constant noise that slowly dulls your sensitivity. You are not being asked to reject people, you are being asked to reject interference. There is a difference. God separates before He sends. This is a pattern woven through Scripture and through the lives of those who carried assignment. Separation is not punishment, it is focus. When direction becomes specific, options must become limited. You cannot carry clarity while entertaining confusion. You cannot move with precision while surrounded by static. You may have noticed that your tolerance for certain environments has changed. Places that once felt normal now feel heavy. Conversations that once felt engaging now feel draining. This is not arrogance. This is alignment. Your spirit is responding to a new frequency. And anything that does not match it begins to irritate, not emotionally, but internally. This is where many misunderstand what God is doing. They think He is making them antisocial, rigid, or withdrawn. But what He is actually doing is sharpening their hearing. When noise reduces, instruction becomes clearer. When voices lessen, direction strengthens. Distraction is dangerous at this stage because it feels harmless. It says, just rest here a bit. Just entertain this thought. Just stay connected to this habit. But even small distractions can delay obedience. And delay, when instruction has already been given, carries consequence. You are not being called to isolate, you are being called to consecrate. Consecration is intentional separation for a purpose. It is choosing what feeds your spirit over what merely fills time. It is guarding your attention like a gatekeeper, because you now understand that what enters your mind shapes what you become. This is also why God has been dealing with your inner circles. Some connections were seasonal, not permanent. They served a purpose, but they cannot come with you into what is next. That does not make them evil. It makes them complete. Clinging to expired connections out of sentiment will only create tension. Separation often feels lonely before it feels powerful. There is a gap between letting go and being filled. That gap is uncomfortable, but it is holy. It teaches you to rely on God's presence rather than constant affirmation. It trains you to move from instruction, not approval. In this season, silence becomes strategic. You do not need to explain every decision. You do not need to defend your boundaries. The need to over-explain is often a sign of insecurity. God is building quiet confidence in you, the kind that moves without announcement and obeys without validation. Pay attention also to internal distractions. Replaying old conversations, imagining outcomes, overthinking decisions God has already settled. These are subtle forms of resistance. Once God gives clarity, rumination becomes disobedience. Trust does not rehearse fear. This is why rest is part of separation. True rest is not escape, it is recalibration. When you rest intentionally, you reset your discernment. You allow your soul to catch up with your spirit. Exhaustion makes you vulnerable to distraction. Strength restores focus. There is also a pruning happening in your desires. Some ambitions are losing urgency. Some goals no longer excite you. This does not mean you are losing passion, it means God is refining it. Lesser pursuits are being removed so greater ones can take root without competition. Separation prepares you to move without friction. When the time comes to act, you will not hesitate. You will not debate internally. You will already be free. That is the gift of this season. It removes inner resistance before outer resistance appears. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Jeremiah in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 15, verse 19. If you separate the precious from the worthless, you will be my spokesman. This verse is not about people alone. It is about discernment. It is about learning what carries weight and what does not. What feeds life and what drains it. What aligns with truth and what merely distracts from it. God entrusts His voice to those who guard clarity. You are learning that clarity is costly, but confusion costs more. Separation demands courage, but distraction demands sacrifice. One strengthens you, the other slowly erodes you. That is why God is firm with you now, not harsh firm. He is protecting what He has invested. You may feel quieter than before, less reactive, less available. That is not loss, it is focus. That is not withdrawal, it is readiness. When movement begins, it will be decisive because separation has already done its work. You are not missing out. You are being set apart. And what is set apart is always set up for purpose. You are not stepping into what is next by accident. Nothing about this moment is casual, rushed, or improvised. What is unfolding now has been arranged through seasons of obedience, separation, endurance, and quiet preparation. You may feel the weight of it not as fear, but as responsibility. That weight is not meant to slow you down. It is meant to steady you. There is a difference between excitement and readiness. Excitement looks for movement. Readiness waits for instruction. You have learned that difference the hard way. That is why you are still standing when others burned out. That is why your discernment is sharper than before. That is why you no longer chase signs, you recognize timing. Crowning does not begin on a platform. It begins in the unseen, where identity is settled before authority is displayed. God never elevates someone who is still negotiating who they are. He crowns those who are already rooted, and you are rooted now, not in outcomes, not in people, not in emotion, but in conviction. You are beginning to realize that what lies ahead will require restraint as much as courage. Not every opportunity will be yours to take. Not every battle will be yours to fight. Wisdom will matter more than visibility. Obedience will matter more than applause. This is not a season of proving, it is a season of carrying. What God is entrusting to you is not fragile, but it is precise. It requires you to stay alert without being anxious, confident without being loud, humble without shrinking. This balance is rare. That is why few walk it. but you have been trained for it through loss, waiting, and refinement. You may notice that affirmation no longer fuels you the way it once did. Silence no longer scares you. Being misunderstood no longer destabilizes you. These are not signs of detachment. They are signs of authority forming. When your identity is settled, external noise loses its power. This is also why temptation has shifted. It no longer comes as obvious wrong, but as subtle compromise, shortcuts, slight adjustments, invitations to relax standards just this once. But you see clearly now. You know that crowns are not seized. They are placed, and anything taken prematurely will demand a price later. Elevation will not announce itself with chaos. It will come with clarity, with peace, with a quiet knowing that the next step is unavoidable. When it arrives, you will not rush it. You will move steadily, decisively, without explaining yourself to those who were not present during preparation. You are not becoming someone new, you are becoming fully yourself. The version of you that no longer fractures under pressure. The version that listens before speaking. The version that acts without panic. This is what it means to be crowned not with attention, but with trust. There will be moments ahead where others project expectations onto you. Resist the urge to perform. You are not here to meet projections, you are here to fulfill assignment. Performance exhausts. Purpose sustains. Stay anchored in purpose. You will also be called to lead without dominance and influence without manipulation. Authority that comes from God does not need to assert itself. It carries weight naturally. When you speak, it lands. When you decide, it holds. Not because you force it, but because alignment backs it. This is the season where your no becomes as important as your yes. Boundaries will protect what blessing alone cannot. You are not closing doors out of fear, you are guarding focus out of wisdom. Every unnecessary access denied now preserves strength for what truly matters. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 25, verse 23. Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a few things. I will make you ruler over many things. Notice the order. Faithfulness first, expansion second. You were faithful when the work was small, when the vision was unclear, when recognition was absent. That faithfulness did not go unnoticed. Heaven records what earth ignores. You are not walking into chaos, you are walking into stewardship. And stewardship requires maturity more than momentum. You will be trusted because you have been tested. You will be elevated because you have been anchored. You will be seen because you first learned how to stand unseen. If this message resonates with where you are not emotionally but deeply, steadily, I invite you in a sincere way to support this work. A simple like or share helps place this word into the path of someone who is also quietly preparing. And if you choose to subscribe, it is not about following a channel, it is about staying connected to reminders that alignment always precedes acceleration. Stand ready, not tense, not striving. Ready. You are crowned not because you arrived, but because you endured. You do not need to rush away from this moment. Let it settle. Let it breathe. What you have heard is not meant to pressure you into instant action, but to quietly realign you. Some realizations need silence more than response. Some truths unfold slowly, revealing their depth over time. You may find that later today, or even days from now, a sentence from this message returns to you unexpectedly. That is often how clarity works. It echoes when you least expect it. Pay attention to those moments. They are gentle confirmations, not demands. Nothing here requires performance, no comparison, No urgency to prove that something shifted. If something resonated, it is because it connected with a process already unfolding within you. And if it did not, that is also okay. Everyone is met at a different point on the path. If you feel led, you are free to like or share this message with someone who might need quiet encouragement. And if you choose to stay connected, simply remain open. There is no pressure attached, only continuity. For now, remain present, remain attentive. You are not waiting for something external to arrive. Much of what matters has already begun forming within you. Let the next step reveal itself in its own time.